Hey everybody, it's Heather Hamilton here. Just stopping by to have story time, tell you a little bit about my father who passed away on the 3rd. I know that he had a lot of people in his life that loved him and cared for him. And I am just hoping that he lived a fun-filled life. Hopefully he was happy, because you never really know until someone tells you. Anywho, let's have story time. Let me tell you a little bit about the man that I know, the man that raised me, the man that I bump my head with quite often, but for the most part, he's a great father. He was born in BV, in Guyana. He met my mom when she was a bright-eyed teenager in Kanji River, and that's where they started their lives. They were farmers in the beginning, and they lived off their crop, and in Kanji River they had 5 kids while they were there. I asked my mother, I said, well, I asked her, I told her, I said, had you guys invested in a radio, y'all probably wasn't gonna have 5 kids, but anywho, that's a joke between me and her. And then they moved to New Amsterdam. That's where I was born. And in 1966, they moved to New Amsterdam. I was born in New Amsterdam. And then when I was 6 months old, we moved to Linden Town because my dad had gotten a job offer in Linden. So we moved to Linden, and my dad was always a very hardworking, ambitious man, and he provided the best life he could for us as family. Him and my mom together worked very hard. They're both very hardworking people. So they gave us the best life they could. We moved to New Amsterdam. We lived at, I think it was 36 in New Amsterdam. And then my dad got a job offer to go to Linden Town to work at Alumina plant in Linden. I remember that very well because I remember he used to make these little cups. Each one of us had an aluminum cup that we had breakfast in the morning. And yeah, those were good times. Anywho, after we were in Linden for a while, my dad worked at the aluminum plant, and we built this little house in Silvertown? Blueberry Hill, I think it's Silvertown. We built a little house there, and he bought this car. After working at aluminum plant for a while, he decided he wanted to be his own boss. Like I said, he was very ambitious. And so he bought this big, great Oxford car, I remember, that he had to fix and repair every single day, it seemed like. That's how I remember in my 6-year-old mind, okay? And then he decided, after he worked for a little while at the aluminum plant, he decided he's gonna buy a brand new car and he's gonna start his own business. He's gonna be a hire car driver. We call it taxi here in America. So he bought this brand new brown Toyota Corolla and he named it Vanessa. For those of you who were doing hire car back in the day, you probably remember him and his brown car that he was so proud of. But anywho, we had a ritual that we did every morning before he would go to work. And he'd be like, okay, I'm leaving. And we would all go outside the door and we'll get on the car, all the kids would get on the car. 2 of us would be in the front on the bonnet. 2 of us would be on the trunk. 2 people would be on the rooftop. And he would it was like the proudest moment of his life. And he would drive us slowly, I don't know, maybe 5 miles an hour with us just sitting in the car. and driving by the neighbors, and my dad was just loud and proud. So as he's driving down, he's saying hello to all the neighbors and waving to everybody, and everybody's waving back to him. Everybody knew Mr. Hamilton in that neighborhood. That was the type of guy he was. So that was our ritual. And I tell you what, that was about 52 years ago. And I remember it like it was yesterday. So little things do count. You know, sometimes you do little things to a kid and you'd be like, you never know what sticks with them. That was my fondest memory of my dad. Anywho, so then he also had a way of naming all his fancy toys with his kid's name. I had a boat named Imogene. Well, Imogene is my first name, second name, third name, I don't know. But he had a boat in my name, then he had the brown car in Vanessa's name, and then he had another boat in another one of my sister's name, and so on and so forth like that. Which, that was just his way of showing his love for his children. After working his hired car for a while, my mom had the opportunity to come to the US. And because we were so small, she told my dad he should come instead. So he did. And he came to America. Of course, like every immigrant, he struggled to get his residency and all that. And once he got it done, it was off to the races. There was no stopping him. He worked hard. I remember, and he's such an amazing storyteller. Well, he used to be an amazing storyteller. And he would tell us stories about how he would leave one job and go to the other job, and he would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. One time he was a garbage collector, and he said that job paid him the most. He made the most money doing that, so he did that for a while. And then as he bought his first house when he was doing garbage collection, he said, and then, he started elevating himself because he's, like I said, he was so ambitious. Oh my gosh. I aspire to be that ambitious, but anywho. And after years of working as the garbage collector and all these odds and end jobs that he had, once he got his citizenship, he applied to work at the airport. And he worked at the airport for years. When I came here, he was still working at the airport. He actually retired from there. He worked at this airline called Flying Tigers. It's no longer here. It's a defunct airline at this point. But he worked at Flying Tigers for years. He loved that job. He loved it. In the midst of all that, he was also doing so much with his life. He bought properties, and when I came to the US, he had 2-3 family houses and apartment building. And I said that to say how ambitious he really was. Towards the end, he was just taking care of his properties, and he opened a store in the building that he owned. So he was running the grocery store and taking care of his properties and stuff like that. My dad loved toys. He had this black Cadillac that he loved to pieces. And he would take care of that car like he would take care of his life. I mean, he cleaned it and he shined it and he made sure it was looking good. You see his caddy coming down the street, you know it's Mr. Sam. It was what he enjoyed doing. He just loved driving his caddy around, and yeah, he had fun doing that. He was such a good storyteller. He was a good soup maker too. It was every Sunday he would make a big pot of soup and invite everybody over. And he was such a party guy. He enjoyed going to a party, and he enjoyed having parties. We had a basement on South Clinton Street. Oh my goodness, the parties we've had. If those walls can talk, we had a lot of parties in that basement. And we would go to a lot of events with his friends, and my dad is always the life of the party. He's going to be having the most fun. He's going to be the loudest in there. He's going to be having a good old time. And he's going to make sure everybody in the party is having fun. That's the kind of guy he was. He was just a fun guy. But yeah, he was also a member of Church of the Oranges, which he attended regularly. He didn't play by his church. And yeah, we made sure we went to church and made sure we were thankful and make sure we were well. And yeah, that's just a little bit about the man that is my dad. There's so many stories I can tell you about him, but those are the ones that stick out to me right now. However, he's gone now, and we have to move on, and we will. And I'm always going to have those fond memories. I'll keep them close to my heart. And you know, life is so short. But he had a nice long life. He lived until his 90s. But for the rest of us that's here, life is so short. Enjoy every moment. Be kind to people. Be kind to your friends and your family. And don't let events like this bring us together. Okay? Don't let events like this bring us together. And by the way, my family, when are we having our family reunion? Okay, guys. Chop, chop. Let not this be a family reunion, okay? Okay, everybody. Have a good evening. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.